Welcome to the Waiver Wire. Waiver Wire.
Waiver Wire.
Waiver Wire.
Waiver Wire.
What up? Welcome to the Waiver Wire, where fantasy players become fantasy legends. I am now interested, and it's on my brain because my friend just brought it up to me. So if you're out there, algorithm, fuck you. But yeah, so last week
we didn't make it 10 minutes.
No, we didn't make it. We didn't make it 10 seconds because I can't take it. I'm a pirate. You won't control me. But no. So last week we had a.
It's dead.
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. They turned off. They turned off.
You just told the algorithm, "Fuck you."
I went for your head. I'm not even gonna tiptoe around it. I want you.
We're not even gonna be able to watch.
Come find me, okay? Send me a personal message, you computer. No. This is fucking. This is the war on AI. I'm not having it.
We are fucked.
I have seen Terminator. I will not be a part of any Skynet fucking tomfoolery.
We're fucked.
But yeah, so last week I was a solo show, and it was a strange shot of just my face, and I'm glad that me and somebody else watched it.
And it wasn't me because
cool. So
I didn't even get the
somebody out there was all about it. But yeah, we talked about a little bit of stuff, but I want to get my man's interpretation on this. Obviously, you saw the slap heard around the world.
So you know what? I'm the only person who's probably not seen this because I don't give a fuck.
You really didn't see it? It's not that long.
I've seen all the memes, but I have not watched a clip of him walking up there and slapping.
You know what happened?
Apparently, he made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's hair.
All right, I'll give you the rundown. I'll tell you how it goes down. So Chris Rock is telling a joke. First of all, he's just presenting for a documentary award.
He's not the host?
No. So he decided when he goes up there, because he's fucking Chris Rock, blah, 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 that he's gonna spout off a couple of jokes. One of his jokes is that Penelope Cruz and Javier Bardem are married, and they are both nominated for Best Actor and Best Actress. But his joke is, fucking, if Penelope Cruz loses, Javier Bardem cannot win. He cannot go back to his house tonight with an Oscar, and she don't have one. He's just begging Will Smith to win. He's like, oh, please let Will Smith win. That's the joke. He looks over at Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, who are sitting in the front row, and he decides, I'm going to make a quick little, I'm going to throw out this little, he goes, hey, Jada, hair looks great, or you look great, can't wait to see G.I. Jane 2. It's a bad joke. It's really not that good of a joke. It's a dated joke. You got to be old enough to know what the fuck G.I. Jane is. But,
right.
Okay, so then...
When did G.I. Jane come out? Where is
it was in the
G.I.
90s.
Jane on your movie?
Oh, no. I don't have it.
Over there?
I don't have it. No, I'm not a G.I. Jane fan. Not a G.I. Jane fan.
You don't have a Demi Moore section?
I do like when Viggo Mortensen beats the shit out of her. I really enjoy that part of the movie.
I've never seen it.
Oh, yeah. There's a part where he beats the fuck out of her because she asked for a fight. So, you know, I feel like this is totally okay. Anyways.
Sorry, we were not.
But Jada rolls her eyes immediately at it. Jada is like not into it. Will Smith is laughing. And then I'm telling you, as a married person, he saves his own life. He saves his own life because he's laughing. He looks over and sees, oh, fuck, this isn't funny. Oh, my God. And I know what's going through his mind, that for the rest of the night, he's going to hear. And she has alopecia, so she has to shave her head. So she is doing this because she is losing patches in her hair, and she's very insecure about it. Okay. She's been online having videos about how it was a big deal when she finally did shave her head.
Oh, I had no idea.
Exactly. I don't think a lot of people did. Chris Rock obviously had no idea. And Will Smith looks over, sees this, and goes, for the rest of the night, I'm going to hear, and you just sat there and let Chris Rock make fun of me, and you never stood up for me, you've never cared about my alopecia, you've never even said the word alopecia. And so in his mind, he's like, I'm going to I'll slap him. I won't knock him out, because if I wanted to, I could beat I think that's what makes me laugh about the liberals that are all, oh, this is violence. No. He walked up and he slapped him. He missed. Honestly, he caught like fingertips. It was just like the edge of his fingertips kind of went across his face. It was just kind of a shut the fuck up. I think I am totally team Will Smith in all this. Everyone else is team Chris Rock. Oh, hey, you can't take a joke. First of all, they were not at a comedy roast. This was not some comedy show that they showed up to and they were like, it's time to get roasted. It was the Academy Awards where he's nominated. Will Smith is the only person that was supposed to be there was Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. Chris Rock is not supposed to be there. He was not nominated for anything. He's not some big name actor. He's a fucking comedian that, in my opinion, I think is overrated. I can't tell you a Chris Rock stand up that I watched and was like, oh my God, that shit was so funny.
No, I've never been a huge Chris Rock fan.
Never been a big Chris Rock fan, but he's getting all this support. His tickets. Oh, by the way, this is disgusting. He upped his price for his tickets for his stand-up where he's been touring, because did you know he's been touring? I didn't know he's been touring, but he's been doing them for about $40 a ticket is like the cheapest one you can get. Now the cheapest one you can get is $400. So suck my dick, Chris Rock. You're fucking terrible. And Will Smith has been banned for 10 years from coming back to the Oscars.
Did he win the best?
Yeah.
Actor?
And then he won Best Actor. And everybody else is giving him a standing ovation, is now getting yelled at. Like, why would you stand up? Jim Carrey, his little bitch ass, was like, oh, well, this is just shows you how spineless Hollywood is, and everybody's standing up and cheering for him. Listen, if you go to any comedy club across the world and you're a no-name comic and you decide, I'm just gonna like take shots at the audience, I guarantee you, as somebody, I've done stand-up comedy before. I lived in New York and I wanted to do that. I was around a lot of people who are in comedy. They will all tell you, you don't fucking gun at the women. It's a bad idea. You're gonna get somebody who's upset. You can make fun of the guys all day long. Look at this fat, bald motherfucker. You could say whatever you want to a guy because it's allowed to be. We're allowed to roast on each other.
Unless you're Andrew Schultz.
Right, but Andrew Schultz goes after everybody. And those and those guys that go to that comedy show with Andrew Schultz, they're fully aware of what they're getting themselves into.
Right.
Jada Pinkett Smith wasn't there to get fucking roasted. She was there to support her man. And then this is the other thing that's been coming up. Oh, well, she cheated on him. Oh, well, this is all bottled up from where she cheated on him. It's like, look, if you've ever been in a relationship, I mean, you can say whatever they want, or you can say whatever you want about her cheating. First, my first point and my most important point is that all of you are living in a fucking fantasy world if you don't think Will Smith was cracking all the cheeks whenever he was a famous Will Smith. When he was Independence Day and fucking Men in Black and had all those Muhammad Ali, all those movies that came out back to back, they were all fucking, every summer Will Smith had a new fucking blockbuster that came out. Oh my God. He was lining up boys and girls. People want to say he's gay. Yeah, maybe, but I'll tell you what, if you think that during the stint of their marriage that Will Smith never fucked anybody else, you're out of your fucking mind. The second point is they have decided to be together.
Yeah.
They went to the Oscars together. They did not break up. They worked this out. They talked it out. They are, as far as I know, still in a relationship together. So that has nothing to do with what happened that night. What happened that night is that he's standing up for his woman. I'll tell you this much. If I'm at any stand-up comedy show and the comic looks over at me and my wife and makes a joke about her, about something she's sensitive about and has insecurities about, and that means that in our house, I know I've seen tears. I've seen her by herself where she's really been thinking about it. I'm going to go beat the fuck out of whatever comic this is. I'm going to get up and go actually fight him. And if Will Smith had wanted to, he could have done a lot worse. He is much bigger than Chris Rock. He could have beat the fuck out of Chris Rock, but he decided not to. But I'm Team Will Smith all day. Jim West, Desperado, Rough Rider. This might be against the algorithm as well. I don't think they're Team Will Smith, but Josh is Team Will Smith. Fuck you, algorithm. And we're at the 9-minute point. Look at that.
So, do you want to know what I think about all this?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's done exactly what it was supposed to do, and it's gotten all y'all to fucking talk about it for about a week. It was set up.
Hey!
It was Hollywood. It was literally a show.
Shut the fuck up!
Shut up! An award show for all of the actors.
Yeah.
In Hollywood, which is all about make-believe.
Okay,
this was completely set up.
Okay, so I didn't finish. So he goes up, he slaps him. Then you know the next part where he sits back down and he says, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth." Now, the only reason that we know that exists, that footage exists, because in America, the minute that he walked up and slapped him, they cut it. They cut the feed. They cut the audio. They cut the visual. They made it seem like it was like a frozen, like it just was like, it was like Chris Rock up there like standing by himself. In Australia, they cut the visual. They cut the footage because they were like, oh shit, he slapped him. And then when he sat down, you heard over a frozen screen, you heard, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth." He said it twice. It was amazing. I like that kind of energy too. I like that. I want to be that person screaming that in an audience. And then in Japan, we have the footage where they cut nothing out. It was completely uncensored from the slap all the way to him sitting down. You have actors behind Will Smith's that like while he's screaming, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth," and they're all like, "Oh my God." So I can go down the conspiracy hole with you.
That only proves my point more. Like, these are actors, Josh. You tell me that they've never done a fucking movie slap?
No, and it looked like a movie slap.
And you know what?
It looked like a movie slap.
I mean, it's just somebody is, who was it? Like, I wouldn't even have known the Oscars were on if this hadn't happened.
True.
You're right, and nobody
I never
did.
watched the Oscars.
And you know what? Fuck, Chris Rock is now 10 times upped his fucking ticket price. The only thing Will Smith has to do is not go to the fucking Academy Awards show.
Well, he lost a movie. I saw that there was one movie that he got pulled out of. But I personally believe that he will.
The only one that it could hurt is Will Smith, but you've heard all publicity is good publicity, right? I mean, who was talking? I mean, he was up for Best Actor.
He won.
Yeah, I mean,
he won for
Best
King
Actor.
Richard for that fucking
which was
awesome,
a great, and he did a great
awesome.
job.
It was an awesome movie.
I just don't. This is not my world. I watch movies from time to time. I will, but it's just not who I am.
I mean, I will always go down the conspiracy route and always listen to it with an open mind. And I totally see what you're saying. And I 100. If it came out tomorrow that all this is fixed, I wouldn't be surprised.
And I can think of nothing other than it's Hollywood.
Yeah,
they're all actors.
Yeah. But
and they're always on. There's no way that you could convince me otherwise. There's no way.
Well, okay. I mean, it would have been better than if you would have beat the fuck out of him, because then I don't know if you would have believed that was fake. But if Will Smith had dropped him and then got on top and done some ground and pound,
I haven't even seen it. I mean, like I've seen the memes.
Hey, did you watch any of the fights from this weekend?
Oh, well, it was a UFC one, so I only watched the prelims, but I will watch them in a couple weeks.
I
don't even know who won.
Yeah, so. I bought the pay-per-view too, Dana. I did not illegally find a way to watch all of these fights.
I just hate watching the pirated ones. It's just
they
different.
don't look as good.
Yeah.
Like the one that you can always find on YouTube, man, but the algorithm is pissed right now. The only fuck you, algorithm. The only one that you can find is like that. It does this weird thing where it like zooms it in, and then it'll go like regular screen, and then they'll zoom it in real far, and then like they do that while you're watching the whole fight to kind of like get away. I don't know why they do it like that, but that's one of the ones that I can always find, especially Saturday night. I'm telling Dana White's gonna come for me, but no, I did get to watch.
Dana White doesn't give a shit.
No, he doesn't. I did get to watch some of the fights, and bro, the Khamzat Chimaev fight versus Gilbert Burns. Holy fuck, is one of the best fights I've seen this year. Maybe one of the best fights ever. Those dudes went after it, and they both kind of rocked each other. Chimaev set him down in the first round. Gilbert Burns knocked Chimaev. Chimaev kind of slipped, but it was after a fucking nasty uppercut, and it was an amazing fight. And then the next fight was Aljamain Sterling and Peter Yan. Peter Yan got disqualified from the first fight for kneeing him in the face as he was kneeled down. And it was a big controversy because he was disqualified. He didn't lose the fight. He was disqualified. So he won the belt off a technicality. People have been giving Aljamain Sterling a bunch of shit. He's been saying that, he's going to come out here and he's going to look like a totally different fighter. And he did. He took Peter Yan down the entire time and was on his back pretty much the whole time. Peter Yan was basically just fighting Aljamain off his neck because he was just trying to choke him out for most of the fight. And he looked a lot better. It was a split decision win. And if you watch the fight, Peter Yan definitely wins round 4 and 5. Aljamain wins round 2 and 3. But the first round, I mean, nothing really happens. It's one of those ones where, like, they just kind of wrestle to the ground and they're just fighting for position. It was kind of a boring fight, but Aljamain Sterling ended up winning split decision. And then he called out TJ Dillashaw, who was standing there in the ringside. And yeah, it was.
TJ's got the belt.
No, Aljamain Sterling. Peter Yan was the champion. He Aljamain in the face. He lost it, and then so they said, okay, Peter Yan and Aljamain have to do this again. But
so there was no belt holder then for a while.
No, it was still Aljamain Sterling. Off the technicality of the champion was disqualified, so he got the belt.
It's weird with fights. Like, I watch fights, but I have a hard time remembering details. Like, Ute remembers every single detail of every fucking fight, all their names and shit. Yeah. And he'll be talking to me like, bro, I just can't. I don't know. There's just so many
It's because you keep up with other sports.
True.
And so this is his only sport that he watches. And so, like, when he goes home, he's not looking up who, you know, like,
no, he knows. Yeah,
who won in the baseball game tonight? Yeah. He's like just
Speaking
going
of other sports, and we've brought this up a few times. You know what I've been watching this last 2 weeks?
Hockey.
Lots of hockey.
Is playoff hockey?
It's almost. So here's the thing. There's 10 games left.
Okay.
And there's a fight for the wild card spots.
So now they're playing harder.
Oh, dude, it's good. And I'll tell you what. So remember when you said Edmonton, and I kind of poo-pooed it. I didn't realize Edmonton was that good. I hadn't been watching hockey all year. So Edmonton's actually is playing very well. They have one of the ex-Blackhawks defensemen, Duncan Keith. He's very good. And
but is that Connor McDavid's team?
Yes, that's McDavid's.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And he's amazing.
Yeah, dude.
Holy shit!
I'm telling you. I watched that little highlight reel on YouTube.
If you want to get into hockey, now is the time. I like Calgary a lot.
Okay.
And honestly, I'm going to root for the Canadian teams.
I'll check them out. I will definitely check it out.
But
I want to get
ESPN
into
Plus
hockey.
has every single fucking game.
I'll check it out. Yeah. It is, I talked shit about hockey as a young man, not understanding it, and then went to a hockey game. And was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
These guys are... And I love to call NFL players the tough. I do think that NFL players are probably the bigger athlete and the more like scary athlete, like Aaron Donald and people like that.
I mean, there's a few hockey players that are on that level. Sure. Not.
I would go as far to say there's more scary athletes in hockey than there are in the NFL. Like a larger number of them, but like the NFL has. Like that top tier, like, oh my God, like they're the number one athlete in the world
the
kind
NBA.
of thing. Yeah.
Just because they're such large
NBA are big.
Human beings.
I just don't know what NBA could do in a fit. I know what these hockey and these NFL players when it comes to physical.
Well, but you're talking, I guess, in this theory or in this simulation that we're talking about the freak athletes if they were trained properly.
Yes.
So like the LeBrons versus the fucking
good point.
Who's the
the basketball players are probably the best athletes because of their size and that's what you're saying and
they're just like I would say they're the most athletic
what they're doing. How skilled you have to. It takes finesse. Like hockey and NFL this is brute strength. This is speed on strength on. You got to. I mean,
especially
you got to have
biggest,
some finesse.
Especially the biggest.
Some of them
got
to have finesse. They got to be able to catch the ball. They got to be able to throw the ball.
But if you're talking about the freak, I would say the freakest and the most scary athletes in the NFL are on the line.
Yeah, that's true.
Like those are the guys you know.
Yeah, Aaron Donald and
Well, what about some of those left tackles?
Oh, Von Miller came in. Von Miller came in, and it was like he's so big. He's so big that you're like, oh my God. It's not that he's tall. Like people think, oh, it's big. The basketball players are way taller, but when you see NFL defensive ends in person, their chests, their arms, their legs, his leg was the size of my waist. Like, it was like, oh my God, bro.
Who was that dude? One of the Texans running backs. I can't remember who it was. Just God. I mean, could
Trunks.
you imagine what Saquon Barkley's thighs
No.
must look like? Like, they look huge on TV.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, but what were we talking about? Hockey?
Oh,
I'll get into some hockey. I'll get into some hockey.
Yeah, check it out. It's fun right now.
Yeah.
Or just maybe watch the Oilers play this week.
Yeah, because we are close to playoff hockey, but what we are tonight, Tuesday, April 12th, is the first night of the play-in basketball
That
tournament.
does start. I knew that the season had ended.
So this is the way I had to research this and look it up because I don't understand and it's new, but now I fully understand. So tonight, Tuesday, Brooklyn and Cleveland, they will play in Cleveland. The 7 and the 8 seed will play. The winner of that game tonight will be the 7 seed.
So there's only a one game.
They only have to win one game.
So
Now,
this is like the wild card game in baseball.
sort of. Other than I like the way that they did this kind of round robin way so let's say Brooklyn and Cleveland play. I have a feeling Brooklyn will win. Yes,
Right, yeah.
Cleveland loses. They're not out of it. Atlanta and Charlotte will play tomorrow in Atlanta. And the winner of Atlanta and Charlotte has to play, let's say, Cleveland or Brooklyn.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So the 9 and 10 seeds have to win two games to get in.
And technically, if you're saying, to
Whereas
get
the 8th seed or
Right.
7th seed could
7th
lose
seed, you
a
just gotta
game and win a
Right.
game.
You could lose and you could win and still get in as the
Okay.
8th
I
seed.
do like that.
It's kind of cool, right?
I like that.
After I researched it, I was like, that's kind of a good way to add on to the playoffs. And it's one game. I love the one game.
And honestly, some of these teams, all four of those teams are pretty good. At one point in time, Cleveland was like the number 2
Yeah.
seed.
Yeah.
And then Allen got hurt though, right?
Yes.
And he's not back.
Sexton.
Correct?
Sexton also went out for the whole year.
So is
they-
Allen back? Because he wasn't like that wasn't a season.
I don't
ending.
know,
But
but
he's
they've got
their
that
big
young
guy.
kid Mobley,
Yeah.
the young rookie Mobley that has kind of stepped in as their kind of big guy.
Okay,
and
but he was an all-star this year. Allen was.
yeah.
But even then, Atlanta made the
Cleveland,
playoffs last year.
Cleveland's a couple years away, and I sadly they probably will lose to Brooklyn. But
They will. Well, Kyrie's allowed to play now, right?
oh yeah. All of a sudden, magically,
well, you know what happened?
the New York was like, let's
Yeah, the
make some money.
Yankees started playing, and the Yankees have way more power than the fucking Nets. That's exactly. It was literally when the baseball season was about to start. Yeah.
Horse shit.
Well, that's what it is.
COVID horse
and then
shit.
the mayor came out, and it's only for the professional athletes
Get
now.
the fuck
but his
outta
whole
here.
reasoning in the first place was, well, we can't make special exemptions for these athletes when other regular people can't go to their jobs. Well, now they can.
Until he got a call from somebody
Steinbrenner.
who pays him who pays him under the table. He got a call from a sponsor or whatever the fuck these politicians get their money from, and was like,
Well,
hey,
the Nets are owned by
I have season tickets to the Yankees, and I go every single year. I need you to go ahead.
Yeah. Well, so the Nets are owned by. You're right. It was like some of those rich.
Yeah, some rich motherfucker
There,
called up and
you
was
know, there's a Yankees season ticket
Hey,
holder.
man, yeah.
It was probably a judge or something.
Probably was.
Or,
I go every year.
The
boy.
president.
I start my season with the Yankees. You
when
shan't-
my fatherland
Yes.
came across here in
we
the
always go to the Yankees
1600s,
game. I won't miss a season.
I own half of Massachusetts. Or, I'm sorry, New York.
Yeah. So yeah,
I
and
guess
then
it wouldn't be Massachusetts. They'd be Red Sox fans.
on the west side, Minnesota tonight. The Clippers will go play at Minnesota with Paul George now, who's now playing at a very high level. That's interesting. And then New
Well, it's
Orleans,
playoffs now.
San Antonio will come to New Orleans for the 9-10 game.
So I was right. The Lakers won't make the playoffs. Didn't I say that about 2 months ago?
Yeah. Yeah, so the Lakers were a topic that I talked about last week, and I mean, listen, there were a ton of injuries. Not to say that if they all had them all together, I have them being a good team, because we did see them all together at one point, and they weren't a good team. I mean, you have
Well, like you mentioned a few weeks ago, Anthony Davis just isn't.
he's been this his
that
whole
good.
career.
Yeah, I mean,
we're
like-
in New Orleans, he would have little flashes of brilliance where you're like, oh, this guy's really good. But then he gets hurt and then he's out. And listen, all the big guys, Joel Embiid, Jokic, Karl Anthony Towns, I would say those are the three best big men in the league right now.
If
But
you're
at
not,
any
if you
moment,
don't count Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, I don't. I
he's a
said
power
count him as a
forward,
forward,
yeah.
and not like a true like.
Yeah, he's
big.
not a 5.
Right. And all three of those guys that I just named, as good as they are, they're all fucking amazing. Tomorrow, they could tear an ACL. Tomorrow, they could go down with a season-ending injury because their bodies are just too big. Their bodies are weird, and it's not.
Jokic
Anthony
has
Davis
been pretty durable, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been okay, but he's missed time.
Has he? I can't
Karl
remember
Anthony
his.
Towns has missed time. Joel Embiid has definitely missed time. I mean, trust the process is because the motherfucker had to sit out the whole beginning of his career. I'm always like, it blows my. I judge Anthony Davis on it, and I think that he always gets hurt. But all big men always get hurt.
But
the only
he's
people
not
that don't get hurt
wouldn't-
are LeBron, Karl Malone, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
There's just some
Those are the only
guys.
ones.
Some guys just get hurt. You know, I mean, like there's
In
even
basketball, they all do. They all do.
But even not big guys. There's just
Yeah.
some guys that are just in all sports.
yeah.
Some guys are injury prone.
But you go back and you look and see. That's when I started looking at, because he's chasing this scoring of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and so I just wanted to look at some of these other Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I didn't watch him. I wasn't alive for that, but it was amazing to see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Karl Malone, just like LeBron. When you look at games played, like Karl Malone, it was like 82, 81, 82, 81, 82, 82, 82. Like there was one where I think he obviously got hurt because he only played like 20-something games earlier in his career. But other than that, Karl Malone and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, they played pretty much every
And
game.
LeBron
has played every game.
Yeah, even when he had his most significant injuries were like a month or two.
Right.
And
that,
those were
that's been recently.
most
early in his.
significant, yeah.
I mean,
He has definitely been an Iron he
Man.
takes care of himself.
He takes care of his body.
Yeah.
And all the other NBA players, and I include Kobe and Jordan and every other great that you can talk about, they did not have the longevity that LeBron did, because what LeBron did was he took care of his body on a different level. He is the greatest athlete that we have.
I think
his
so.
body,
Yeah.
I mean, he's a freak.
Right. He's like not too big,
Yeah.
but bigger than everybody else.
Yeah.
And
Strong
as fuck, and like
Fast.
yes,
You know,
can jump,
agility,
yes.
yeah.
he could have literally chose any sport and probably been.
It's hilarious
one
to
of
me
the best.
too. Everyone wants to go after him for this year. You know, oh, look at what he's doing. He looks like shit.
He had one of his
he's
best
36
years,
years
didn't he?
Old, and he averaged 30 points a game. He is now the oldest
on a crappy team.
He is now the oldest player to average 30 points a game and the youngest player to average 30 points a game. And he probably will hold that record forever.
Yeah.
Who's going to take this from him?
Yeah,
Kevin Durant's not playing until he's 37.
there's a few things about LeBron that kind of rub me the wrong
Sure.
way, but I mean,
You can't deny it.
What are you
can't deny it.
What are we talking about
Yeah.
here? You know?
Yeah. And like I went back to compare, okay, you know, you think about how old he is and the age that he is compared to some of the other greats. Kobe, at this point, retired. This was his last year was when he was 37. Michael Jordan, at age 37, was in his second retirement. This was after. Now, he did win the sixth championship. He won that sixth championship whenever he was 36. LeBron, I would just like to mention, whenever he was 35 or 34 or something, whatever this was, 2 years ago, he did just win a championship. Just going to say that. But Karl Malone, when he was 37, he was in very much the decline. He was not.
That's when he was a Laker, right?
No, I think
he was still
that
in
was when
Utah?
he was 39 years old, if I remember that correctly. When he was 39 was 39 and 40 was his last 2 years with the Lakers. And at age 40, he barely played. He was just a bench player for that Lakers team, and he really wasn't very good. He averaged like 6 points a game. But even at age 37, his points per game had gone down to about 17. He was still on that Utah team, which was still a good team, but he just wasn't
their
big
main
of a
guy,
part of the plan anymore. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who is definitely the Iron Man of all Iron Mans, because when you look at his career, I think he won when he was 37. He won when he was 40. That was his last championship, and that was the Magic Johnson rookie year, Baby Skyhook, that whole thing. So, and in that year, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was definitely not
Damn, Kareem was 40 that year?
40 years old.
Because he played a few years. Because I remember
played
watching
after that.
Kareem playing.
He played 2 years
Like
after that, but they didn't win again. And his points per game dramatically dropped. It was like, because there was Cooper, there was James Worthy, there was now Magic Johnson for his last 2 years. It just wasn't.
Maybe I don't remember Kareem.
I mean, listen, I don't remember Kareem at all, and I don't want to sit here and suck off the older generation because I believe in evolution, and I think that if Kareem played nowadays, he'd be okay. I don't know how he would be able to fit into today's NBA.
People are definitely bigger, stronger, and faster than they were 30.
They would all be
40.
the same.
The funny thing is that was 40 years ago.
They would all be the same size as him, and that would be a big disadvantage for him because whenever he played, he was bigger than everyone.
Right.
So
one of the things that I was thinking about when we were talking about these guys that were longevity and versus like the Anthony Davises, and that Anthony Davis jumps high, plays above the rim, lands funny. How many times has he landed on people's feet and tweaked an ankle? Whereas Malone, he could dunk. He could jump.
Not above
but
the
you know
rim.
what? He was just bigger and stronger than you, and he was
His fundamentals were good.
6'11",
His fundamentals were amazing. He was just
and the same thing with Kareem.
Yeah.
Although Kareem had the sky hook, he was also taller and moved around, and like you couldn't defend that fucking sky hook.
And
honestly,
like
I don't know a whole lot about
I
his-
think Kareem could play in all NBA.
he was talented.
He could play in all
Absolutely.
generation. Hakeem Olajuwon would kick the fuck out of these kids nowadays. Shaq in today's NBA, he would average 50 and 30. They would not be able to stop him.
wouldn't know what to do.
There would be no big man that would know what to do. They wouldn't be able to get in front of him. They'd have to put two people standing on either side of him begging him, please don't dunk on us. I mean, Hakeem would fucking kill people all day with the dream shake in today's NBA. But there are some people like Kareem that I just think it's amazing numbers and you did amazing things. I don't know if you physically were as gifted as some of the, and definitely like Bill Russell and all those guys Wilt Chamberlain. When you were the only two black men, okay, all right, and you were playing all white guys, yeah, okay, all right, yeah, good for you.
There goes the algorithm again.
No white people in my basketball.
Well,
That's what I want.
here's another thing that you could think about with LeBron is that. Especially, I remember almost every fucking year it seemed like this is the next Jordan. This is the next Jordan. We watched fucking LeBron play in high school, and so
called him the next Jordan.
And called him the next Jordan. And not only has he had this longevity of a career, he lived up to the hype.
Yep.
Right.
He built a brand,
and not only has he taken care of his body and he's physically gifted, but he's mentally gifted too, because goddamn, I can't go to the gym for more than 3 weeks without not going to the gym for 2.
Yeah.
Right? I can't fucking stay focused on not drinking beer.
and just like Tom Brady, just in the same kind
Or
of
eating right.
Just
like,
in the
what
same
fuck?
aspect of Tom Brady, it's like where people were trashing on him this year, and I'm like, okay, so do you think he's going to retire? And they're like, oh, well, no. And it's like, no, of course you don't think he's going to retire because look at the level that he's playing at. Now, the one thing that I have to take away from LeBron, he's not playing defense at all anymore. Or at least he didn't this year. I don't know if it was a choice, just like he saw the team kind of going down in flames and he was like, I'm just not going to play defense. But he's not playing defense at all. And I can't give it a pass because it is what's causing his teams to be bad. They're going to follow the leader. So the rest of the team now is not. And they lost guys like Caruso and KCP and dudes that played defense and they let them kind of go. And now their team wasn't as good. And maybe that's what he saw. But that's the one thing for LeBron that in these last couple of years, I'm going to have to see him. But he's going to play till he gets to play with his son. He's already decreed it.
Yeah.
He said it's genius marketing too, by the way. This is what LeVar Ball wishes he could do. He just got Bronny James Jr. or whatever his name is
drafted at least
in the first round.
Yeah.
Oh my God. drafted. He got him. He might be the number one pick. He could have just got him the number one pick, and he might not even be that good. He might not even be worthy of being the number one pick. And LeBron just got him to be a fucking number one, at least a first round pick. Because if you're a bad team
LeBron
you're the Orlando
will come
Magic, and you're like, listen, if I
even
swear to
for
God,
1 year,
we're a bad team. The Houston Rockets are a bad team. I swear to God, if we get the number one pick on Bronny James Jr.'s
and we don't fucking take him,
we better fucking do it. Because I want to wait on LeBron. And I want him to be here. I want it. I need it. But yeah. So yeah, basketball. Oh, some of the other cool things, matchups that we already know, which I think are all good games. Philly, Toronto. Toronto surprised me because I wrote them off after they lost Kyle Lowry and they lost Kawhi. I've just thought, they're not shit. But they have a lot of good young talent. Trent Jr., Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam. They've really done a very good job. They beat Chicago out for that. They were the 6th seed. Toronto was the 6th seed for a long time. And they beat them out there at the very end to be the 5. And listen, James Harden's butthole, we're about to see it.
Yeah,
we're about to see it, Pucker. Did you see him here at the end of the year?
Nah, I stopped. I've been watching hockey,
bro. He's been terrible. It's like I think his average over the last 10 games has been like 20% from the floor. Like he's like 2 for 15, 2 for 17. His butthole's puckering. This is also the first year since I believe his second year in OKC where he has not had a 30-point game.
Oh, really?
Or something like that.
I so want to see him succeed, but I don't know.
Nah, fuck you, James Harden. You're gonna ruin Joel Embiid's chances for the next couple of years, and you and Daryl Morey can suck each other off all you want. You never won.
Curry got hurt though, so Brooklyn,
yeah, they're still. That's all still up in the air. They don't know if he's gonna be able to come back. I
said he might be able to come back.
I think they could get by this first. I think they could beat Denver without Steph. I really do.
Oh, I'm talking about his brother. But I forgot Steph was hurt too.
Steph is still hurt too.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about, did Seth get hurt?
He might not play at all.
Oh, y'all are Philly. Philly might get fucked then. Toronto could definitely win that.
Toronto could definitely win Steph that. Plays in Brooklyn now. Or Seth plays in Brooklyn.
Too many trades. Too many trades.
He went to Brooklyn in the Harden
trade. Too many trades. Yeah, Brooklyn, I
watch Brooklyn fucking come out.
Maybe. I just
got
think
Kyrie now.
Miami, Boston, and Milwaukee are all really good teams.
Yeah.
They have a better
You know what's going to fuck up Brooklyn is they're going to try to put Ben Simmons out there.
Yeah, and then
he's supposed to come back after.
He hasn't played in a year.
He hasn't played, and they're going to try.
He's going to look like shit.
And he's going to look.
Yeah, that's stupid. A good point too. Interesting. Well, Philly, Toronto.
Honestly, Boston's probably coming out of the East.
I like Miami. Miami's got some dogs on that team,
but Boston's been the best team since
trading for Derek White.
Since the trade, yeah.
They traded for Derek White, and that threesome of Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Derek White is really good.
Well, the only thing I can think of that might hurt their chances is their center got hurt. I don't know if he's coming. Williams the third.
Their
fucking shot blocker.
Ooh, did it for the whole.
I don't know how long he's out, but I know that he got hurt.
Because certain people, Lonzo Ball's out for the rest of the season. There was another one I saw too that's out for the rest of the season. They don't know if Jamal Murray's going to come back.
Yeah, but he hasn't played all year either.
Luka. They're not.
Luka's hurt?
In the very last game of the season, he got hurt.
No, see, I haven't been watching SportsCenter either. Like literally, I'm going home, putting it on ESPN Plus, picking out a couple hockey games,
cool,
and falling asleep.
Got to do it. But yeah, then Milwaukee, Chicago. A very interesting series without Lonzo Ball. I doubt it very much.
Chicago struggled with the better teams.
Yeah,
like they beat up on all the teams that they were supposed to beat up. But every time, and it was weird also that every time I watched them play this year, they lost.
and Milwaukee's been playing really well. So I would say Chicago maybe wins one game out of that series, but I have Milwaukee.
Honestly, if it's not those top 3 teams from the East, it'll be Brooklyn.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I do have one of those top 3 teams being better than Brooklyn. But
I'll call my pick coming out of the East is Boston.
Well, and Boston immediately will probably get Brooklyn, because if they are the 2 seed, I'm gonna assume Brooklyn's gonna beat Cleveland. I'm just gonna go ahead and jot that down. That's probably the only one out of the play-in tournament that I can jot down. I don't know if the Clippers will beat Minnesota. Or Minnesota. That 7-8 on the other side, I don't know, but Brooklyn
can beat.
So Brooklyn
Boston,
versus Boston.
Then, Miami or
Boston,
Milwaukee.
that'd be very interesting.
Yeah, then Miami or Milwaukee. Then
Jason Tatum. He's good. He's decided to put himself in the conversation of I am a superstar, top 5 player in this league.
Yeah.
Like,
and honestly, Jaylen Brown's fucking really good too.
But my guy that, well, we'll get to it. So Milwaukee will play Chicago, Boston will play Brooklyn, and then Miami will end up probably playing Cleveland. Although Atlanta has been playing well. Trae Young played really well against it was against the Rockets.
They're a weird team.
They're a weird team. But Miami, I think Miami beats whoever that is. Miami's a good enough team that even with the fighting and all the crazy Jimmy Butler drama, I think they get through that first round pretty easy. And then on the west side, so Utah going to Dallas. Again, if Luka doesn't play, they'll lose.
Oh, yeah.
No Luka, they're done. No Luka, they don't win a single game.
There's no way.
Yeah. And Utah's, Donovan Mitchell's good, and they actually overtook Denver for the 5 seed here in the last game. So,
and they're a solid defensive team.
Yeah,
they've been there before.
I don't have them winning a championship, but I think they'll beat a Luka.
They'll beat a Dallas team without the fucking one of the best players in the world.
If Luka does play, I think
What did he hurt?
His calf, which is bad. He's not the most super athletic guy either.
Yeah,
so
but you can't shoot right with your calf fucking hurt.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's a weird one because I don't have either one of them winning the next series after this. So it's like, why are we even watching this? But I'll give it that without Luka, Utah will win, and with Luka, I'll go for Dallas. And just
I agree. Well, if Luka's healthy,
throwing shit at the wall, who cares?
But if Luka's playing hurt, he can't carry him.
Probably not. And then Golden State will play Denver. Now this is Steph has not come back yet.
Yeah, if Steph don't play, I don't think.
No, there's
Golden
a way.
State wins.
Klay Thompson went off for 41 points there in their last game.
I haven't. Well, again, so last time I don't think I've watched basketball for 2 weeks. So when last time I watched Golden State play, they didn't look good at all.
And
I actually was watching the game that
Steph
got hurt.
But now in the last week here, Jordan Poole's played really well. Draymond is back and fully healthy. Klay Thompson, I'm telling you, Klay Thompson went out for 41 points, and he fucking killed it on that last game. And it was like, uh-oh, if Klay's back, if Klay's being Klay, and
I think they're gonna have a hard time without Steph.
They will have a hard time, and who they're playing is not easy. Denver is not an easy team.
Jokic is up for the fucking
Jokic
MVP.
is probably going to win MVP, and it's a tough
Name
task.
me another player on Denver that's not hurt.
Tough task, and Jamal Murray might come back. They
Really?
don't.
I mean,
he hasn't decided yet. But if they get,
but how's what's his?
He hasn't played a whole year.
Porter Jr.
I think that they've slowly been put. I think he is back, and I think they've slowly been putting him back in rotation.
A couple weeks ago,
but that dude stays hurt too, so I don't really know how much you can count on him. And then Memphis, I have them definitely winning this first round easy. Memphis is such a good team, but
I like Memphis.
But who I'm going with, and my team that I'm going to ride with, because I have decided that this kid, Devin Booker, has decided I am a superstar. These last 2 weeks of Devin Booker have been unbelievable. Yeah. Coming back, he's had them down in games, and Devin Booker himself comes back. He's good.
As long as Chris Paul stays healthy, I think Phoenix wins the title.
But Phoenix has done other things to build that team up in the last couple of years.
The person that impresses me the most on that team that's developed his game is Ayton. He's pretty fucking
and that
good.
Bridges kid that they have, the Mikal Bridges that they have, that Phoenix team is really good. But Devin Booker,
there's something about Chris Paul being on the floor.
Yeah, they need it. They need it
to get them through, like for the playoffs, because the playoffs are just different.
Yeah,
and there's gonna come some games where you're just gonna need him to make a play.
Yeah,
like all those times when there was that year. If he wouldn't have hurt his fucking hamstring, bro, we would have won that game.
Yeah. Well, all they had to do in that game 7 was not miss 27 threes in a row.
Right, but again, that's Chris Paul's presence. There's something to be said about the ball, the pass hitting your hands, and you not having to make any movements to shoot. Whereas, they're just, and his presence on the floor.
That game 7 was
he can pull up and hit that mid range jumper anytime he wants. You need a bucket. There's just things that Chris Paul can do. You kind of need. He's like glue.
I agree. That game 7, where we missed all those threes and we lost and we were up 3-1 and all that shit. That game 7 was where I broke up with James Harden. That was the game. That was the game where I was like, okay, come on, bro. Come on, bro. All of those 27 threes, I think he was like 6 of them. At least. And come on.
But everybody played like shit in that game. They did, and I think it was a lot of it was because mentally.
But Chris Paul goes out, James Harden, got to step up. Right, you got to be the man.
And that's the mental part of all this is really the most impressive part to me. And that's honestly the most impressive part about LeBron in that is like, God damn, he can keep your focus. And not just that, but you have to see a goal. Now, granted, obviously LeBron knew what he wanted to do, but all the other shit, and to play at that high a level, like how boring is that? I
was looking at it. I got to pull it up because I got to say it right.
Because I know how boring it is to be disciplined. Yeah. Right, and especially if you got everything you could ever fucking imagine and wish for. Yeah. Right? Like, it's hard for me to be disciplined. Yeah. And I don't have millions of dollars. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Here we go. San Antonio Spurs. So let's see. 2007. This is when he goes to the NBA Finals. LeBron goes to the NBA Finals and loses. They get swept by the Spurs with Giannis Ilgauskas and Mo Williams. The next year, he plays the Big Three in Boston and actually does pretty well, but they end up getting beat. But he's in the Eastern Conference Finals. This is the last year. Oh no. This is, but he's somewhat in this conversation, but he's not there. The next year is the Lakers start their two-peat with Pau Gasol and Kobe. That's 2009 and 2010. 2011.
Both times they beat Cleveland, right?
Both times they beat the Orlando Magic with Dwight Howard, and then the next time they beat the Big Three again.
Oh, okay.
The Lakers beat.
You're talking about these are the ones. So he went to the finals the first year,
2007. Then he misses
3 years.
3 years where he's not in the finals. Okay. But he's a competitive team. He's always playing the Big Three. He can't get past the Big Three, and then he goes in 2011 to Miami. He's in the finals for 4 years in a row. He goes back to Cleveland. He's in the finals for 4 years in a row. In 2019 was the one where the Raptors beat his Cleveland Cavalier team of no one. I mean, he had...
That was the... dude, I can't remember.
I'm sorry. You're right. The Toronto Raptors year was the one where he went to the Lakers, got hurt, and it was Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram and them that basically played out the rest of the year, but they didn't even make the playoffs, and he wasn't a good team.
Okay, and that was
he was hurt most of the year for that 2019. 2020 he wins with the Lakers. I'm just pointing out that over the last 10 years at least, since 2007, I'd say he's at least relevant because he went to the finals. But from 2011 until now, 2021, for the last 10 years, this man has just been. It's the Tom Brady effect. You can't deny it. He's been the one. It's why y'all hate on him, because you always go, "Oh, fucking, I know LeBron's gonna be there, but he's not gonna win." That's what the haters love to do. He's gonna lose.
Is this the first time he's missed the playoffs?
No, he missed his rookie year, and I believe they did miss that the year that he got hurt, and with Lonzo Ball and Josh Hart and all those guys that they traded away. But yeah, Yeah. Anyways, LeBron is an all-time great, and it is hilarious how much this guy gets hated on. I've never seen it before in my life.
But that's what people love to hate.
But they didn't do this to Jordan. They didn't do this really.
People hated on Jordan. Not as many, but
Really?
Well, and also we didn't.
Not now.
But we also weren't as connected as we are now, right? I mean, there wasn't as many talking heads back then, were there?
There wasn't. No, there wasn't.
Not as much. Like,
and social media wasn't around.
like we didn't know what everybody fucking thought about everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Back then.
And watching your every movement. I think that's one of the things that people take out of that. LeBron has also been, as far as I know, I mean, maybe behind closed doors he's a piece of shit, but the persona that he gives off, his character that he plays, his brand, is a good
amazing
guy.
thing. Yeah,
he's a good guy. He's done nothing but do good things. He's still with the same woman from high school. They've got a bunch of babies together, and he's
trying, and he's obviously Bronny. He must be doing something right with this kid.
Oh yeah,
because I mean, no child of a world class famous athlete like this is ever. I mean, name me one.
I mean, you have a bunch of NBA players' kids that will make it into the NBA, and I give them that. But Michael Jordan's kid didn't do it.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And
who name me a superstar?
Superstar, right? Mike
Tyson
Jr. ain't like
But I'm trying to think of. I think there is one.
Well,
there's a couple, but not very many.
Not one.
Ken Griffey Jr.
But
Ken Griffey was pretty
Senior
good.
was pretty good. He wasn't
Barry Bonds. Because Bobby Bonds was a superstar, right? Wouldn't he have been? He played with Willie Mays. Now he was over. He wasn't Willie Mays.
Yeah,
but Barry Bonds was also Willie Mays' fucking god.
And then you created and then your son. I guess the more interesting thing is you usually don't get where you're the best, and then your son is better than you.
Right. And that's kind of
very rarely happens.
And so I guess that. Yeah, because again, Bobby Bonds wasn't the best or considered the best,
but he made the best.
Right. So then Barry Bonds' kids, obviously, he didn't.
Right, Barry Bonds' kids. Is he gonna? Yeah, I doubt it. But yeah, that
was another. I looked up one time if there's ever any royalty that became famous, world class athletes, right? Because you would think that with all the advantages, right, that they would at least at some point. I mean, because you would think that they were breeding to be the biggest and strongest. That at some point there would be some royal fucking superstar. Nah, none.
Nah, well, because it's hard. It's hard,
right? You have to come from.
Takes dedication.
It comes from it's very rare to come. It seems to come from a place of privilege.
Yeah.
And make it to a point where you have to fight.
Oh yeah. Very hard. Man, so we talked a lot about basketball. I think
we've bounced all over the place.
Yeah, we've been all over the place. But we did some Will Smith. We did some basketball.
All right, so I'm taking Boston versus Phoenix. You're taking Miami, Phoenix.
I'm actually going to go Milwaukee. I'm going to go Milwaukee because Giannis has really changed for me, and I think that when you get into the playoffs, you got to have the guy. And I think over there on the East, I think I'll call him the guy. But I those top three, it's a race between those top three in my opinion. And over on the West, I like Phoenix a lot, and I am going to roll with Devin Booker. But Memphis is no joke.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for me to root against Ja.
And that should be the Western Conference Finals in my opinion, and that's a tough one to call. That'll be a really, really good game series if we get Phoenix versus Memphis. And don't count Golden State out. I mean, if Steph comes back and he's Steph,
they just didn't. I don't know, man. Every time. They just didn't look right when I was watching them, but maybe they're just because they haven't been playing together. They haven't
all maybe been back together in that, and that's the thing too, is back when the three of them were together, they had really good pieces that complemented them.
But how many times did those three win a championship? Just once, right? The other two was with Durant.
Just once.
Right.
But they went 4 years in a row, and they won 3, and
2 of them were with Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
I don't count those.
No. And I've said it before. I hate to say it. That's the best team ever.
Yeah.
It's the best team ever.
at least it's in the
They
conversation.
beat everybody.
Yeah.
They beat the Bulls. The only one that I give them I don't know, is that Shaq and Kobe team, because who's stopping Shaq on that Golden State team? Is Draymond playing against fucking Shaq? That's a joke.
They're definitely in the conversation of
I don't know who stops them. Who stops them?
But you can still make the argument of the Bulls team or the Lakers team.
I mean, okay, so but if I make that argument, the Bulls have you don't have enough people to cover the shooting power of that Golden State team.
You just can't underestimate the fucking sheer will of some teams, or we just don't know. I mean, that Chicago team was really good defensively, and so was Golden State.
So was Golden State. I just,
and again, it's also two different styles. It would have been fucking amazing to fucking watch.
Three of your players are fucking out of their minds from beyond the 3-point, and you can just run and spread the floor and spread the floor and spread the floor. I just don't know what NBA team could cover that. And if you put three, like we thought when they put Kyrie, Kevin Durant, and James Harden together, that we had just created another little monster like that, where it's like, now you can't cover the three of them because
if James would have stayed in Brooklyn.
But James Harden is a pussy.
But if he had stayed in Brooklyn, they would have had a much better shot.
Now here they are.
Than they are now.
He pulled the trigger too quick. And was like,
because he didn't think Kyrie was going to come back. I know.
Kyrie must have known the Yankees thing. He must have got a call. He was like, don't worry.
Kyrie just doesn't give a fuck.
I'm a Yankees season ticket holder. You're going to play, dog. Don't worry.
That's pretty good.
But yeah, basketball coming down to the wire here. It should be exciting. Baseball has started up in full swing. Astros got Sunday's game. We won that. So we 3-1 over the Angels. Man, Astros, huh? I like it. I like it.
I don't care.
No?
I don't care.
Oh, man, they look good.
Wake me up in fucking August. No,
I hear that. You got a long way to go.
Yeah, I got way more things to do.
Here, but Fromber looked really good. Fromber looked really good. The only game we lost was the Justin Verlander game, and he only gave up one run, so it's not even like we just didn't hit that game.
They lost it 1-0?
2-0. Fucking Stanek came in and gave up a home run as well. But I don't like Stanek, and I don't want you anywhere near my fucking shit, Stanek.
He's gonna be their closer this year, isn't he?
No. We signed Ryan Presley to we signed him to an extension too. So Ryan Presley would be the guy. It'll be Stanek. It'll be he's still putting that Phil Matone guy.
Well, you know
there.
why Stanek is out there, because he can throw the ball in triple digits. Like that's why.
But he gives up runs.
Well,
he consistently gives up
right,
runs.
But again, like
why would you want
have
that?
because you have this raw talent that you can't teach. So if you can teach him how to pitch.
Yeah.
If you have an overpowering fastball like that, that's why. I mean, that's why he's there.
Yeah.
So, Stromy is gone though, right? I think we lost Brent Strom.
Oh, did we?
Or whatever. I think that he retired last year.
Oh, interesting. I don't know.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe this is a Mandela effect.
Look this up.
Where's our guy?
But baseball, my way too early. It's not even early predictions. I just put down teams that I know are going to be in the mix, or at least I believe will be in the mix. The AL East is deep, boy. It is deep because Toronto is nasty this year. They're going to be very, very good. Tampa Bay always ends up throwing out a team that's pretty good. The Yankees will be there and Boston will be there. Those four will always be there. So the AL East is deep. And then the rest of the AL is a joke. Like, we will obviously win the AL West. The AL Central will obviously go to the White Sox. But the Rangers, man, made some moves. And I don't know how much this Corey Seager, Mark Seaman, they made some moves. They
had our number last year.
Yeah, the Rangers.
We didn't play the Rangers very well.
They'll be interesting. I have a question mark next to them.
You know the A's ain't gonna be there. They sold
they got
all
rid
of
of
their
everybody.
players.
No, they got rid of everybody.
The fucking Mariners are always the Mariners.
Yeah,
like
the Angels with Shohei, and now they got Noah Syndergaard. I mean, they could be good.
When's he gonna get hurt?
Yeah, exactly. But we fucked him up in game one. I'll tell you that much. We fucked him up on opening day. Fuck you, Noah Syndergaard. Welcome to the Astros. Oh, did you see the new outfits, the new uniforms for the Astros? It's cool. It says Space City on it. It's sweet. And then in the NL,
No, I haven't. I honestly, again, wake me up in
I got
probably
you.
not August because I'm gonna get bored around June. I would guess.
Yeah, there's gonna be nothing
Whenever
going on
the
in June,
basketball
yeah.
and
When
hockey
basketball and
playoffs
hockey
are
are over,
over,
you'll have no choice.
I
You'll
will
have to
watch
watch some baseball.
But until then, suck my dick.
Yeah, I hear that. Well, in the NL's a joke because it's just the Dodgers, the Giants, and the Padres again over there on the West, and those are going to be dominant teams again. But the Mets made a bunch
The
of moves,
Mets are
boy.
at least they're trying.
Oh yeah, they went for broke. They're trying to win right
least they're
now.
trying.
And they should be a good team. I have them definitely winning the NL East, even though the Phillies also made some good moves. Kyle Schwarber on the Phillies is nice.
Atlanta won the motherfucking World
but
Series.
They lost Freddie Freeman.
But they got the what's his name from Oakland.
Yeah, but he's not Freddie Freeman.
He's not Freddie Freeman, but
Shut your fucking mouths. But you're right. It's too
they
soon.
have their pitching was the reason they won the World Series.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like, essentially.
We probably should just well, okay. So baseball, you're right. I mean, we'll get back to baseball at some point, but baseball way too early to tell.
We need a couple months.
But go
in a
Stros.
couple months, we'll at least have an idea of
Yeah.
where they're starting to line up.
Yeah,
Obviously,
we just had opening weekend, and we've had one.
and they didn't
one
even
series.
fucking play spring training very much. So
Yeah.
this is going to be a lot like the first few weeks of the NFL,
Yeah.
where it's going to be really weird
Feeling
for
it
a
out.
while until.
Yep.
It's going to be like the last few weeks of spring training,
Yep. But we probably should bring this up. Dwayne Haskins.
Oh, yeah.
Holy fucking
R.I.P.
shit.
Dwayne. Damn, what the fuck?
I mean, it's still all kind of ongoing. The last thing that I
Here
looked
was because we talked about this a couple of days ago on the phone. So they're still saying it's a.
they're
think it's
still
a
it's under
homicide?
investigation.
Here was my question because I was thinking about that on the way over here. Like, who's trying to take out Dwayne Haskins? Like,
Well, and what they said, so apparently there's a witness.
There's gotta be a chicken
that
involved,
said
right?
that the dump truck veered, that like he walked, and because they're trying to run across this highway again. When you say highway to some people in big cities, like we live in a big city, Houston, where it's like when I think of highway and that you're running on a highway, that's death. Like that's absolutely insane. But in Florida, where they were at, when they say highway, it's like Highway 6 over here. Like it's like a road that like, yes, it's a big road that is technically considered a highway, but there's sidewalks on it. There's a barrier in the middle, but you technically could run across, and there's businesses on either side of this highway. So the few of them that run across the highway, they run, when they take off, it causes this truck apparently to like try to veer. He was trying to miss him. He was trying to like skip out of the way, but it caused the truck to kind of skid, like he hit the brakes, and it caused the truck to kind of go out of control. And when he veered this way, and Dwayne Haskins maybe had a moment of like the deer in the headlights, like, uh-oh, which way should I go? When he froze, the truck like veered back into him. So they're trying to decide. I thought it was that he jumped the curb, but what they're trying to decide is, and maybe he did jump the curb, but it was from trying to overcorrect
sounds
himself.
like he lost control.
Said he lost control of this, but it's a dump truck. It was a huge truck that. It is just a wild story. I mean, he's 24 years old. It's very sad, obviously, but it's like,
It's just so I'm like,
Wow.
the only like, so it wasn't somebody trying to take him out necessarily.
No, I don't think
like,
so.
It was like a
I don't
hit.
think so,
It
yeah.
was like the only way was like, did this guy like just have a bad
Purposely,
day
yeah.
and go like, you know what?
was
fuck
it malicious?
Yeah.
Was he? That's what they're trying to figure out, I guess. They're trying
When
to.
the black man,
Yeah. Get him.
get him.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like that just doesn't make any sense.
It's Florida.
But
It's
yeah,
Florida.
right? But
So maybe.
the man doesn't. It wasn't like he doesn't live there. He was
No.
on vacation.
Yeah,
there.
that's the other too. Mitchell Trubisky wanted to do a little quarterback trip, so he got all the quarterbacks together, and they all went down there. So Mason Rudolph and him and Dwayne Haskins.
Here's another question I have. What the fuck are you running out in front of a fucking dump truck for?
Yeah.
Like, let it go by,
Yeah.
maybe. And,
Listen. I ran across the Beltway,
yeah, but
I
Jesus
waited.
Christ.
I just went, okay.
I wouldn't even want to do that. And then, like, I would imagine that you were in a situation where you had to,
I was
right?
a child. I was a child.
You were doing it on purpose?
I was in junior high, and the way that you could walk home from my junior high, you could take the long way round, or you could be the crazy kids like we were, where we played Frogger on the Beltway.
No way.
But in Pasadena, okay? So like it's not as busy. And it's still,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
it's like
There
way
is
down
big
there.
stretches
Yeah, there's
of-
stretches where you can
There's
like
that.
get across. But still, even in telling this story, I shouldn't have been doing this. I
That
definitely
means you had
could
to
have
run
died.
up the fucking ramp and then across.
No, you could just walk up. I just walked up the little.
Oh, the little bank?
Yeah,
Good
the
Lord,
bank,
and
and then
jumped the fucking...
Yeah, and
good
then
Lord.
just stepped over the thing. It's crazy. It's crazy to say
But
that I
can see
did
you
that.
doing- yes, I would have
But
probably done the same thing.
Again, I knew when a dump truck was coming. I looked up and was like, I mean, you had to be on your toes. You had to be paying attention.
Because, like, yeah, I mean, if it was that close that he had to make a decision on which way to fucking go, it was
shouldn't have
too
gone.
goddamn close.
and it was too early. If this is Frogger, you
I'm
fucked
sorry,
up.
Gri- I'm
You
sorry,
fucked up.
Dwayne. This
Yeah.
is not something
Yeah,
to
sorry,
make fun of,
sorry,
but these are
sorry.
things my brain thinks of.
But play
when
Frogger.
I just don't.
He's too young, too. He probably never did play Frogger.
Did they not have a facility anywhere close for you guys to run at?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Unbelievable.
Trubisky, maybe drop a little more cash.
Unbelievable. Yeah, so that story, I guess, is still ongoing, and we'll get there. But
It's not funny. It's
It's
sad,
not
but
funny.
there are
It's not
parts of
funny.
this story
But
that
it is
just,
funny.
You gotta wonder, like, what the fuck?
yeah, what the fuck was going on?
Oh, jeez.
Frank Vogel got fired,
As he should.
rightfully so. I mean, they played like absolute dog shit. It's very funny that Russell Westbrook had a quote that came out and said, "Yeah, I don't really know what Frank's problem was with me." It's that you're a terrible basketball player. That's what it was. It's that you suck at basketball, and Frank Vogel called that out. I mean, listen. Frank Vogel didn't put this team together, and whoever put this team together, if it was LeBron, is a bad GM. They put old guys. They put Trevor Ariza, Carmelo Anthony. I mean, they just Avery Bradley's long in the tooth. Like DJ Augustine was coming in and playing minutes for them. Like they got a bunch of old players together. Dwight Howard's old. Like they got all these guys together, and they were like, "This is gonna work." It's not. It's the NBA has gotten better. Look at all these teams that we were just talking about.
Yep.
Phoenix, Memphis, Boston, Milwaukee. They're all young.
Dallas.
They're all young
Yeah.
teams, all young, upcoming Denver, all guys that have young superstars on their team that are taking over the league. The guys that I just named, Jason Tatum and Devin Booker, that have decided I'm a fucking superstar in this league. LeBron, you better either be smart enough to realize that getting the old guys isn't the answer, or B, you should join one of them. Because I swear to God, if he was smart enough to option out, he has a player option this year, he could just opt out of his contract and take a veteran minimum and walk over to one of these teams. Be smart enough.
He can opt out after this year.
He could opt out right now.
But he won't do that.
He's
He
not
wants
gonna
the money.
do it.
He wants the money because in the NBA, your status is all about your contract.
He's made so
It
much
doesn't matter.
money.
It doesn't matter. He wouldn't be able to walk in the room.
What?
They'd fucking make fun of him.
If I swear to God,
I swear, dude.
I just wish and see, this is where Tom Brady will always be over LeBron for me. If you're gonna make me like which of my guys do I love more?
Yeah.
Tom Brady is smart enough
Right.
to understand I need the guys around me to be amazing.
But also, maybe for so long, he didn't. You see
But
what I'm saying?
did.
Well,
But
I mean, he did.
Bron
but
was smart enough when he went to Miami.
Right.
He knew I can't do it here. I got to do it where I have people around me. How did you think that Russell? I mean, maybe in somewhere in the back of his mind, he really thought he could make it work with Russell Westbrook. I don't know. But
Well, hopefully this triggers something in his brain and it shows him that if I want to win a few more championships, this is what I have to do. But we talked about this a while ago, and he won't. Because somebody is willing to pay him the super max contract, and he will not turn it down.
are you hurting for money, bro? Are you hurting
it's
for
not
money?
the money. It's the stat. It's the symbol. It's what it
But you know
symbolizes.
what's a better symbol is that if you go out as the best, and if you win a couple more championships,
This is a club. The NBA is like a club, and in their little club, yes, they want to win, but what they want more
Status.
is to be able to walk into the room because they're all friends. Like
So
they
dumb.
sit down and have dinner together when they play against each other sometimes, right?
so dumb.
I've seen them eat together.
It's so
Typically, they
dumb.
come together.
They are all our friends, and that's where a lot of the old school players like Charles
Right.
Barkley and them.
Those guys
they all,
hated each other.
They all call that out. They're like,
Yeah.
I don't, all these guys are friends from the
Yeah.
AAU days, and they know each other since they were kids, and they just don't have that animosity to each other.
Right. Not. I mean, there is some, but it's more now. It's the internet beef shit.
You don't
It's
have
the-
Reggie Miller and Michael Jordan trying to fucking
Right, they
kill
hate each other.
They hate each other.
They hated each other.
Hate each
The
other.
reason that those guys didn't fucking go
Yeah.
create super teams is because
Yeah.
they didn't like that motherfucker.
Yeah.
And his only goal was to fucking
Well,
win.
I will say what's smart about the NBA players nowadays is that they realize that the only thing that Reggie Miller and Michael Jordan were being loyal to was this entity that is the Chicago Bulls or the Indiana Pacers.
Mm-hmm.
But we ourselves are a brand. And if we can take this league over, we don't have to
Well,
get
Jordan started it.
Jordan did start.
Well,
it.
maybe he didn't start it, but he took it to a different level.
where- with a brand, for sure,
And
yeah.
now you're right. So the NBA is in a unique league in that way, is that now they run the motherfucker.
Yep.
So back then, yes, that animosity and that all that did was make the fucking
I think the NFL might be slowly moving that way too. I mean, we see Tyreek Hill and some of these guys that
it's just going to
kinda-
be hard for them to do it because
well, the contracts
of
are
the
more,
money.
yeah, the money,
Right.
the contracts, and but if you're a star, if you're a star in the
it's
NFL,
beginning
it
to
seems
come
like
that-
you can say what
right.
you want.
That's why the guaranteed money in the NFL is the more important part.
Yeah, where Deshaun Watson has really fucked things up.
So he now
Yeah.
it's like, okay, your whole contract's guaranteed.
I know the
Hell
Ravens.
yeah.
The Ravens just came out because they're obviously working on this deal with Lamar Jackson, and they just came out and were like, yeah, the Browns can go fuck themselves with this fucking deal that they just gave out because nobody really is gonna. I mean, I understand it with Deshaun Watson. The Browns made the right decision. I fully understand it. What they have is a special talent. It's not Lamar Jackson. It's not Dak Prescott. It's not Baker Mayfield. It's not any of these other guys that are getting these other contracts. It's different. Deshaun Watson is different in my mind. Patrick Mahomes, when he got his contract, we didn't blink an eye at it. When Josh Allen got his contract, we didn't blink an eye at it. I think the same way about this Deshaun Watson thing. But the problem is Lamar Jackson's in this interview going, well, look at what he got. And it's like, yeah, bitch, you ain't him. Like, do you think that you have the arm that Deshaun Watson has? Can we compare these two things? I mean, yeah. So,
But he's gonna get paid too. But he's not gonna get Deshaun Watson
I
money.
don't think he gets 230.
I don't even think he gets Aaron Rodgers money, honestly.
No, probably not.
But
It'll probably be
he'll get paid.
It'll be in the 180,
and he should get paid.
175
Yeah.
range. And
Now we look at the guaranteed money. Is what
that won't be the same.
It shouldn't be because you
gets
gotta
hurt.
think he's gonna get hurt.
Gets hurt all the time.
Yep. And the Ravens, I think, are smart enough.
Yeah,
too.
I think so. I think so.
But you gotta pay the guy because
Yeah.
if you don't, your team is just not that good.
So, I mean, rest of the NFL, that's kind of, we still have all these guys over here looking at them. They're still all, oh no, Calais Campbell went back to the Ravens. That's right. He re-signed with the Ravens.
Yeah, I realized doing this show that I haven't watched any Sports Center or anything like.
Well, a lot of these guys have not done it.
Gronk, I thought, didn't he say he didn't
said
want
he's not
to?
ready.
Yeah.
He's not ready to.
I
think it's mid-season. I think he comes back mid-season. Brady sends out the call and he says, "I need you, bro." And Gronk says, "All right,
Be smart.
I'll dust it off."
I don't want to.
I just can't wait for Julian Edelman to get in that Tampa Bay uniform.
The thing with Gronk is he just doesn't. I don't think he loves football the way he used to.
Yeah.
I don't. I
But
think
Brady-
he loves other. I think he loves other things more now. You know.
But Brady brings something out of him, though.
I know, but-
Brady somehow can talk him into
Yeah.
it. And he will again.
he must have this like Jedi mind trick shit on him. Like,
Well, because I think Brady's just
come
like,
on, Gronk.
but Brady also like he feeds Gronk. It's
Yeah,
not
he
like
boosts
a
his
normal.
ego, yeah.
If you're some tight end sitting on the couch and some quarterback calls you up and he's like, "I really need you," in your mind you're like, "Yeah, but I'm gonna get the ball like get thrown like 2 or
gonna
3
have to
times a
block all the
game.
time,
Like,
yeah.
this is just gonna be physical for no reason. Gronk knows I'm gonna score touchdowns. I'm gonna be in playoff games.
but I think from what I see of Gronk, he's thinking he just doesn't want to
That's
go through the
that's
whole like
very
grind
possible
of it.
Very possible. Very
And so
possible.
and again, that goes back to the mental part of it. The mental part of what do you got to do to get ready to go through this war.
Well, and Tom Brady, let's be fair, Tom Brady has to do a lot less than Gronk and some of the
Gronk's position is way more physical, and he's got to take on fucking defensive ends sometimes and shit.
Yeah.
And
he's getting hit.
Yeah,
he's getting rocked.
Yeah.
He's catching
Yeah.
he's catching it, not paying attention to where the guy's coming from, and then getting fucking sideswiped.
And so he's gotta get ready for that again, to put his body through that again for what?
Yeah, I hear that.
He ain't, from what I understand of Gronk, he never spent any of his game checks. Only money that he spends is what he makes off of like royalties and endorsements.
I
and
mean,
shit.
money wise, he's set for life. I don't think that's
he
not
probably
part of this.
does still live with his mom.
That's what he's.
Mom, where's my football pants?
No, he's set, and money is not what he's
like
doing
from
this
what I
for.
understand. Like, so I mean, we've read about NFL players, especially that once they retire, like they get used to these fucking big game checks, and then they're gone, and they made some bad investments or whatnot. But from what I understand of Gronk, like he was smart with his money, and he doesn't have to go destroy his body anymore. And he could just go party and be Gronk.
Well, I made this little list and talked about it last week, and it's just fucking hilarious, the difference in conferences. I mean, the NFC, I don't think you're going to argue with me about the teams that I threw up there, and it's hilarious that Washington and Minnesota are the only two I could come up with out of the entire NFC that could possibly even maybe have a chance of sneaking in and being that 7 seed or being an okay team this year. But over on the AFC, holy fucking shit. I picked my 7 teams that I think will make it. And then I left out the Chargers, the Raiders, the Dolphins, the Patriots, and the Ravens. All 5 of those teams, I could definitely see why you would say, no, they're going to make the playoffs. And the AFC is so deep. It's just so deep. Wow. I have Denver winning the division over Kansas City.
Wow.
I think
Honestly, I could see KC missing the playoffs this year.
I know. I hear you. No Tyreek Hill. Listen, Juju Smith, when initially you picked up Juju, I was like, wow, you add him to the Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce show, that's amazing. But now when it's just that it's Juju and
Juju's the number one.
I'm not
You want
into that.
Juju as your number one?
Not into that.
Well, we haven't had the draft yet.
Yeah, that's true. And they signed Marquez Valdez Scantling.
Supposedly, this is a wide
Very deep wide receiver.
rich draft.
But the really good ones are going to go early.
It seems like there's a lot of teams that are banking on picking up one of them good wide
Green Bay's
receivers.
one of them.
Yeah.
Green Bay needs 2. They need 2 all-star receivers to come in and immediately be NFL ready, because at this point they have no one. They have Alan
Bay,
Lazard and Randall Cobb. Those are the only 2 receivers that they have. That is terrifying. And Robert Tonyan. Green Bay, I mean, I have them as, definitely winning the division because their division is terrible, but
Right, because who's going to beat them?
yeah, Minnesota,
They'd be the
Chicago,
only ones.
yeah,
Unless Justin Fields all of a sudden figures shit out.
Nah. Allen Robinson left, so he doesn't even have anybody to throw to.
Yeah, he's going to get hit. They're one of the teams that are going to
they're going to need a receiver for sure. And then Detroit, I mean, I liked Detroit, and I thought they fought for comeuppance last year, but no.
We like their coach, but Jared Goff is still your quarterback.
And Green Bay's going to win that division easy. So I mean, they'll be there in the playoffs, and they'll probably be a top seed because they'll have an easy.
That might be the worst of that. Might have taken over the NFC East as the worst division.
I think so. Yeah.
Good job,
for sure,
Aaron.
because Philly's a good team, and I actually have them beating Dallas.
I think the Commanders could be okay. I mean, Carson Wentz, at least in the regular season, can win you some games.
I put them as they're on the bubble. I mean, if Arizona,
especially in the NFC,
yeah, especially in the NFC. And listen, Dallas didn't do anything to get better. They didn't do anything to get better. They got worse.
They lost
Amari Cooper. They lost Randy Gregory.
Yeah.
I mean, they got worse. They didn't get.
And their
they
offensive
lost,
line
Leo
isn't
Collins.
as good as
they
it
lost Leo
is.
Collins.
They still got fucking Zeke, paying him $20 million
He's another
a
year
year
older.
to be fat. And
Is anybody drafting him in fantasy football? Or if you are,
I'm not touching.
Are
him.
you doing it early? Because you got to be a Cowboys fan if you are. That's all it could be.
Somebody gonna take him in probably the second or third round.
I wouldn't even want it then.
I'm not touching it.
If he falls to the 5th, I still be like, nah, I'm
I
good.
don't think I'm gonna even be on the Cowboys train at all. Like,
no, there's not really much on. What would you? I mean, CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb would be the only one that I can think.
Yeah,
Or
I mean, Dalton Schultz. Yeah, I mean, and that's if.
Or I mean Prescott. I mean, as a quarterback, if you're in a
dual quarterback league, yeah, I
could
get
take
that.
Prescott.
But I just think Dallas takes a step back. I have Philly winning the division, so
I just don't think that they're gonna perform to their draft position.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like where you would have to take CeeDee Lamb, is he gonna be that guy? Maybe you could make the argument because there is no more. We got
I know we
I've been looking at that one the whole time.
yeah,
I didn't even see
we
those.
we went to do painting with a twist. Me and my wife went to do painting with a twist during our little vacation, and I painted this fucking
This is
badass
yours?
lion.
That is good.
Check him out.
And this is hers.
Yeah.
Who did that?
We got that for they played like this little game, and they let us pick out a painting that was there.
okay.
So they just let us take a painting.
That's all it was.
But yeah, now the guy helped me. I guess. Like I painted first of all, I painted it all black, and then he went and drew a lion on there, and he was like, just kind of follow this, and I was like, oh, thank you. And then he came back. Originally the eyes that I had looked fucked up. They were like some drunk ass eyes.
I was just about to mention, like,
And
I was like, really?
I know. And then he was like, can I take this over there and fix it? I was like, please take this over there and fix this. But my wife did this, and she did really good.
They're both cool.
Yeah. But what else? Little Moon Knight. Woo! Moon Knight.
I actually started watching that last night. That's that Disney one where he's got a fucking mercenary
Dual personality?
living.
Yeah.
I literally watched the first 2 episodes.
It's
last
fucking
night.
good, bro.
It's pretty good.
It's really good.
I think I started falling asleep in the second one, but
No, it's really, really good. And they're saying that it doesn't tie in to any of the rest of Marvel as of right now, but I call bullshit. That's not the way Marvel works. So I know that at the end of this, they'll find some way to like pull it all in.
at the end of every episode, it seems like they're showing you
Right.
a little more
Right.
of what.
During the
Like, 'cause
vacation,
apparently the suit changes. It's kind of like the mask.
yeah.
Like it depends
Based
on
the
what
person,
personality.
Yeah. And then when we went and saw,
Actually, on that same note, like that movie does remind me of several different movies, like or that show smushed in together. What's the other one that I kept reminding me of? Fuck, I don't know. I'll tell you when I watch it next, and I'll text you.
we went and saw Morbius though, and that fucking movie sucked. It was not good at all.
That's
It
where he
was
turns into like Dracula or
it
a
was
bat
like
or some
bat. Yeah, and it was just so stupid. It was so dumb.
I'm
It
never
was-
gonna go pay for a movie again.
You know what? Me and the lady talked about it. We chose to go see Morbius over the new Batman movie because the new Batman movie is 3 hours long. We were like, we do not want to sit in a movie theater for 3 hours. I barely want to sit in it for 2. And the only thing that the movie theater has going for it is the size of the screen.
And the sound.
Yeah, but I mean, most people. I have a good sound.
Oh, do you? Well, I know.
Most people have good sound. I mean, you or at least
You don't have that. You could feel it.
Sure,
You have- right?
I
Because like
guess.
on some of the, especially if you go to the
But
3D.
you could.
Well, I like the only reason I would go is for the 3D. You know, like
Yeah.
that whole experience. Like that's the only reason I've ever gone to a movie. Now I was like, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. But that's it. Like being around strangers isn't fun. I want to smoke my marijuana. That I can smoke.
You smoke marijuana?
Oh, and only in states that it's legal. I travel to Colorado every single day. I take a one-way flight and I smoke a bowl. and
Like
then
they
I
don't
come
know where
home.
we live. Oh yeah,
they
we
do.
talk about that.
Yeah,
You're wearing it.
But no, I've never smoked marijuana before. But I'm just saying,
It's
in
decriminalized.
theory,
anyways.
I'd like to smoke my marijuana while I watch a movie. I'd like to take a break, like you like to pause things. You like to be in the comfort of your own home. You want to eat whatever you want to eat. The movie theaters can go fuck themselves. And
they're gonna die.
I think they
dying,
are. I think they are dying. They are dying. You have movies that are coming out that are like exclusively in movie theaters, only in movie theaters. And they're trying to do that because they're trying to force you to go and see it. And Spider-Man did well. Spider-Man, Marvel probably always will get us to go to the movie theaters because we have to, but
it'll be like along the lines of they won't release it, right? Like you can't stream it until this day.
A certain
so
day,
if you wanna, it'll be just like it was, and you'll just have to. But if people just stop fucking going,
yeah. And that might be what we get to with Marvel, where we just go, even though I don't want things to be ruined and I don't want any spoilers to happen for me.
That's where they got you. That's where Marvel got us.
Balls, right? Marvel's got me by the balls because
you don't want to miss part of the story.
I don't want to look something up and then be like, oh fuck, they just ruined it for me. So
see, I don't care.
Like the new Doctor Strange, I have to go. I'm gonna have to go to the movie theater.
I just don't. Yeah, I'm so happy that I can randomly.
I'm here.
Ignorance is bliss.
I'm here to guide you. Baseball's back too. But yeah, fuck the algorithm. We went through a lot of good stuff here.
Long one.
I don't know. Do you listen this far, algorithm? Probably not.
How long? Yeah.
Because I cursed you out in the first 10 seconds, baby. But
we're gonna work on it.
One day we're gonna do a PG version.
We're gonna work on it.
We're gonna
because we want to work with the algorithm if it's the one controlling everything.
Yeah, I want to fight you to the death, but Dannon wants to work with you, so we're gonna compromise.
Curious. I'm just curious.
I think maybe I should need to wear like a shock collar maybe on me, and then maybe someone is in control of it.
Like
that can stop me when not just cursing, like if I go after the algorithm, I talk about black people and things like that, they just fucking get me like, hey, stop.
No.
You can't talk bad about COVID.
You can't do that on this platform.
Yeah. But the fun thing is that we don't make any money off of this, and this is just for us, and this is for this. There's one person out there who's watching it. It might be your brother still, but somebody's out there.
It'd be funny if he watched it because he doesn't give a fuck about sports.
Yeah, but
but
we try to talk about other things.
He might just find it entertaining, have it in the background. Who knows?
But we talked for an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was a long one.
Love you. Fuck off. Fuck you, algorithm.